It is a football Saturday in Blacksburg, Virginia, and Hokie fans have come throughout the region to see their favorite team in action. And while the regular season may be 5 months away, well, it's always football season at Virginia Tech. And a good Saturday afternoon to you. Welcome to Lane Stadium. Bill Roth, Rini, and Goya. We get our first look at the 2022 Hokies today and first-year head coach Brent Pry.
It's a reboot, if you will, and what Brent Pry is going to do is bring his culture. What is his culture, you ask? Defense, defense, and more defense. He wants to get Virginia Tech back to being a dominant defensive unit, run the ball, and compete for conference championships and go to some major bowl games once again.
Coach Pry is going to get to run through the tunnel, one of the great traditions in all of college football. Metallica's Enter Sandman at Virginia Tech. It may be the spring game, but it feels like the regular season is here at Virginia Tech. What a tremendous atmosphere we have for mid-April here in Blacksburg.
It's unbelievable coming through the tailgates. Great scene here.
And while this is old hat for many of the players and many of the staff, for Brent Pry, what a thrill it must be for him getting to do this for the first time, right?
And no doubt he has goosebumps here again. Just a spring game, but the crowd is great, beautiful weather. And the Brent Pry era, I guess could say officially has begun.
Now let's go down to the third member of our crew here today, Taylor Davis, with the first-year head coach of the Hokies, Brent Pry.
Thanks, guys. All right, Coach, your first time running out of the tunnel as the head coach here at Virginia Tech. How you feeling?
Chills. I lost my mind for a minute. Thank goodness Dax was with me. He kept me straight.
An incredible crowd on hand today. I don't know if you've seen, there's a sign up there that says, welcome. How impressed are you by this spring game environment?
I love it. This is what I expect from Virginia Tech and the faithful. That's why I wanted to be here. It's a special place.
I know you really hit the ground running as soon as you got hired here. What have been your points of emphasis during spring?
I'm sorry, one more time?
What have been your points of emphasis during spring?
We wanted to really work on the fundamentals, the basics. We had to do this from the ground up in every facet of the program. They've done a great job with it.
So what do you want to see from your guys out here today?
I want to see them compete like crazy.
Looking forward to it, Coach. Enjoy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Taylor. Brent Pry says he hit the ground running. He certainly did that, being hired to replace Justin Fuente. And the day after he was hired, 4 a.m. wake-up call to meet the core of cadets here at Virginia Tech. Then later, the annual snowball fight on campus. Rini, he really gets it, doesn't he?
This is the place where he wants to be. I love his energy. We met with him yesterday. It's an absolutely great hire for Virginia Tech.
He's bonded with other teams, other coaches. There he is with Kenny Brooks, the Virginia Tech women's basketball coach. Now, he has assembled not a good staff, but a great staff. This is an elite coaching staff at Virginia Tech.
And Bill, that's why spring football is so important. A new coach, new assistants, you really got to, get your systems implemented. Now, the coordinators obviously are very important, but the hire I look at is Joe Rudolph, the offensive line coach. He'll also be the run game coordinator. Came from Wisconsin. When you think running the ball, you think Wisconsin. Joe Rudolph knows how to do it, and that's something with Brent Pry and his culture. What he wants to do is he has to run the ball well.
Hokie fans are going to see two new quarterbacks today that came to Tech through the transfer portal. The first is Grant Wells. He was the starting quarterback for the Marshall Thundering Herd each of the last 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting a ton of experience with Grant Wells. A lot of reps under his belt. The one knock, if there is one, on Grant Wells, he threw 22 interceptions when he was at Marshall, but really that's a product because he's got a good arm and he's very confident. He'll try to put that ball in there sometimes where it's ill-advised, but you're getting a good one in Grant Wells.
The other quarterback, Jason Brown, transfers to Virginia Tech from South Carolina. SEC experience, a native Virginian, has come back home, finally playing for the Hokies.
The thing I love about Jason Brown is his size. He's 6'3", 230 pounds, but he's very athletic. He can run the ball, has a strong arm as well. He's kind of that backyard quarterback that just makes plays for you. So Virginia Tech in both these transfers, they got two good ones.
Quarterbacks with experience, quarterbacks that have won some games for Brent Pry. So much energy, so much passion as he coaches. It is just the spring game, I know, but the vibe, the energy, the volume in this stadium, it feels like a regular season game here.
And we'll get into it as the day moves along, but they moved a lot of players around this spring.
It is the maroon versus the white. The maroon team won the toss and will receive. Kyle Lowe will kick off. Kenji Christian is the return man for the maroon team.
And it'll be just against air. There's not going to be a return team out there. They're going to just get the kickoff, let the kickoff team run down, stretch their legs, stay in their lanes, get a little work.
Keyshawn King, the return man for the maroon. Spring football game 2022 at Virginia Tech. 12-minute quarters in the first half today on a beautiful, picture-perfect Saturday afternoon, and away we go from Lane Stadium. And it'll be a touchback to start things off, and the maroon team will get the ball to begin the game, and making his Virginia Tech debut, the pride of Charleston, West Virginia, and the former star quarterback for the Marshall Thundering Herd, Grant Wells.
Well, and I think, and we talked about it a second ago, the biggest thing you get with Grant Wells is experience. I mean, look at his numbers in those 2 years at Marshall. I mean, he was the Conference USA Freshman of the Year. He's all, first team all Conference USA. So very experienced quarterback, which goes a long way.
And he won a lot of games. 2 years ago, Marshall was a top 20 football team. First play of the spring game, that is Jalen Holston, senior tailback running to the right. Pollard brought him down after a gain of about 2 on the first play. We're going to see a lot of running the football at Virginia Tech today and in the fall.
And Jalen Holston may be the most complete back, most experienced for sure. He's a good downhill runner, 215 pounds, can run between the tackles, but has explosiveness as well.
Wells' first pass to the right sideline is incomplete, intended for Nick Gallo. Virginia Tech's got a bunch of tailbacks. I mean, that's a full room down there, and I think eventually, whether it's today or certainly by the season, they're going to have to trim it from 9 down to 4.
Yeah, no, and it's tough, but that's a luxury when you have a lot of running backs, right? To kind of, see what works for you, and once you get in season, who's going to be the main guy, who's going to be the backup guy, but it's a luxury to get those guys multiple reps.
Third down, Wells flips it off to Gallo again. Can he get the first down? He's going to be mighty close. He needed to get to the 35, and he did, right in front of Connor. That's a good experienced throw there for the quarterback.
Well, you said it, Bill. It was on time, right? And that's what an experienced quarterback does. He hits it on time, lets his tight end turn up and get that first down.
Holston started. We'll see Black King and Malachi Thomas today. If the season began today, which it doesn't, those would likely be the 4. You played running back in college. What's the ideal number, do you think, for the number of guys that can legitimately play during the course of the season, barring an injury?
Yeah, I think 3 is what you want. You want 3 good ones. If you can have a 4th, that's great. But as a former running back, whoever your number 1 is, that guy's going to want 20, 25 carries a game. Now, there's different philosophies by coaching staffs now. Do we do it by committee? I can tell you, someone that played the position, if you got a number 1, you got to ride that guy. And so if it is a Jalen Holston, you got to look to get him the ball 20, 25 times a game, and let those other guys give him, some blows here and there.
Holston would technically be called, well, in today's vernacular, a super senior. Gets the second first down of the drive. Wells the throw to the sideline, delivers it right on the money to Lofton, breaking free. One Lofton, who has been a very pleasant surprise a welcome surprise in the receivers room this year, the sophomore from Texas.
Well, Brent Pry said Norell Pollard is one of the guys that's really impressed him this spring. Makes the catch and immediately gets upfield. You love to see that out of your receivers, and a good job by Grant Wells showing his arm strength as he steps up in the pocket and makes that long throw from the far hash across the field.
He gives Wells another first down. He keeps the football this time, and it's just a tap of the quarterback, and that is Connor that tapped him. Now, if you are a savvy Virginia Tech fan, you may have noticed the slot receiver on that play was a gentleman by the name of Connor Blumrick, who was a year ago in the quarterback room. He's going to be Mr. Versatility this year for Virginia Tech as a receiver, wing back, tight end, who knows, right?
He's too good of an athlete. He can help this team. He's going to be on the field in a variety of positions.
Wells to the end zone, and it's incomplete. Intended receiver was Caleb Smith, and will bring up another third down. Back to Blumrick. Wildcat, right? Gives you the opportunity there. 2-point conversions.
I think Blumrick's going to kind of be like a tight end, that flex player. They're going to put him in the slot a lot, but then the defenses have to watch him because you're right. You can motion him in. Wildcat, he could throw the ball, he can run the ball. He's a great athlete. So you're going to see him in the offense a lot this year for Virginia Tech.
It is a new look offense for sure. Third down again for Wells. And I'm not sure who he was throwing to that time. Maybe Gallo. And it will be fourth down. All right, Rini, another question we have on the team. There's not a single player on the Virginia Tech roster who's even attempted a field goal, let alone made one.
Yeah, so I think this is really big for Coach Brent Pry here to see that, because listen, there's a good crowd here. You know, a lot of guys look great on TikTok kicking field goals, but when you get them in a game, right, in that pressure environment, things kind of, you know, can get a little hairy for some of these kickers. So this is a big spring for this group.
This is John Love. He's from Spartanburg, South Carolina, a freshman. John Love puts the Maroon team on the board. 3-0. The Maroon team, led by Wells, takes the lead. Rini's going to get back on his TikTok. We'll be back at Lane in a moment. So 3-0 is the score. The Maroon team has the ball. John Love made the field goal. Will kick things off. True freshman. Let's see what kind of leg he has on the kickoffs. They're not going to return them today. They don't want to have any injuries on a special teams tackle, but this is a gentleman that would be in the mix for the kicking duties. And his kickoff goes about a yard or two deep. And it gives us a chance to meet the other first-time Virginia Tech quarterback from Fredericksburg, Virginia, transfer from the South Carolina Gamecocks. Hokie fans, say hello to Jason Brown.
You know, and the thing about Jason Brown, when talking to head coach Brent Pry about him, he said he makes things happen, right? He's that kind of quarterback. We talked about his size and his athletic ability with that size. It's a great attribute to have.
He's finally a Hokie. You know, I think coming out of high school, he had a chance to walk on here. Went to St. Francis, then South Carolina, and now he's finally getting his chance to play at Lane Stadium. And his first completion is to another newcomer, Jaden Blue, the great receiver from Temple, making his Hokies debut today.
A receiver that's going to be a great addition to this football team. Jaden Blue, very mature, had a great career at Temple, now here at Virginia Tech.
Second down, that pass is batted down. Blue is one of the new receivers on this team, and when you look at that wide receivers room, this is an area that Virginia Tech feels that it has upgraded from the end of the 21 season. There's some new names there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. When you can get a receiver like a Jaden Blue, we see his name right there as a newcomer, you know, that goes a long way. Norell Pollard has played really well this spring, and you're right, that's a position group that needs to step up. They have the people there that I think they can do it.
Brown has to throw in the run and get it away, so that white team defensive line did a nice job getting some pressure. But I think you're right. You know, the Hokies are going to be a running team, there's no doubt about it, but they have to get some production from their passing game.
You have to have that deep threat, right? You have to be able to go vertical. So, you know, the running game and passing game, obviously, hate to be Captain Obvious, they go hand in hand. So if you can run the ball first and foremost, that'll open up the passing game and make the life a lot easier for a lot of those receivers.
For first-year receivers coach Fontel Mines. Peter Moore in the ball game for the white team. He'll be punting it away. P.J. Prelo is the return man, the son of current Virginia Tech assistant and former player Pearson Prelo. He stands back near the 28. And the first punt of the day. Prelo takes it, and the Maroon team will get it back. First quarter of the 2022 spring game continues from Lane Stadium. Virginia Tech spring football game at Lane Stadium. Terrific crowd on a beautiful Saturday. The Maroon team a 3-0 lead in the first quarter here today. Bill Roth, Greedy, and Golia with you here at Lane Stadium. One of the real stars of the Virginia Tech football program from the past few years. Actually, they're both stars. The Edmonds brothers are here, both first-round picks from this program. Let's go down to the field to Taylor.
Oh, yeah, guys. Lots of alum down here enjoying this spring game. I'm joined by Terrell Edmonds. Terrell, you were talking to me about how awesome it is to be back, but this environment in particular for a spring game, how impressed are you?
Man, it's amazing. Just seeing all the alumni coming back, seeing all the guys I play with, and then just the energy from the new coaching staff. Man, we're excited for the things to come now. So it's just like we're ready for everything to go, and we're trying to see what they're all talking about.
Obviously, it's a new era. That's something that we're talking a lot about. Obviously, a new coaching staff, a lot of new faces, but it feels like a lot of energy around this program. Is that something you're sensing as well?
Yes. I mean, it's just the culture. That's why I came to Virginia Tech. That's why the guys they're coming to Virginia Tech because of the culture. We built on the Hokies stone. We built on hard work. We built on grit. And it's just, you got to go out there and you got to show it. And that's what we're built on. And hopefully the new coaching staff, they come out here and show it. I talked to a lot of the coaching staff, and they seem like they're good guys. So I'm excited for what to come. And, man, I'm excited to see what they do out there today.
Now, it goes without saying that this is a very special place to you and your family, what your brothers accomplished here as well. Any memories stand out to you from your time here?
Man, just all of the games. Every game felt like a home game, you could say. You got Hokie Nation all over the world. Like, even to this day, I see people in the airport and they're talking about Hokies for life. So it's just like, man, Hokie Nation is just so much love. And I can't thank everyone that just shows support to me and my brothers. It's just amazing, and I'm thankful for Hokie Nation.
Well, I know they're thankful for you guys as well. All right, well, last one for you. Obviously, Coach Pry is a defensive guy, which is your bread and butter as well, and he's really emphasizing a culture of competition and hard work. As a defensive guy yourself, what do you think that side of the ball needs to implement this next season? Man,
just exactly what Coach Pry said. It's all about competing. That's what we're here for. We're here to compete. We're here to go out there and make plays, and we're here to go out there as man-to-man, mano-a-mano, and it's time to go out there and show why you should be on the field. And I'm glad I talked to Coach Pry yesterday, and he just told me, and I can feel his energy. I felt like I wanted to go out there and play right away, so it's just like, man, I'm just ready for it, and I'm ready to see exactly what they do. And, man, you know, I'm a Hokie for life.
A lot of energy. He had me ready to play as well. I agree with you. So good chatting with you. Thanks for being here.
No doubt. Thank you.
Guys?
Edmonds' family helped arrange an event this past week, golf tournament. You can kind of tell the love they have. Both the brothers were first-round picks from this school.
And I'll say this, Brent Pry gets it, right? He gets this job, and he understands alumni are very important. And it's a testament to him of how many have come back for this game this weekend. I mean, that's a big deal, and I think that means a lot about this program and for this program.
Here is Peter Moore to punt it away once again for Coach Pry's team. DJ Harvey is the return man. Coach Pry was talking about the fact that I've got to learn how to coach more than just the defense.
Yeah.
I've got to visit with the offensive guys and the special teams guys. That's something I didn't do for 31 years. I mentioned the golf. This was, you know, the game is big, but the collegiality and the return to campus for guys like D'Angelo Hall. There's some big names, by the way, that are back here. There's Edmonds that golfed here yesterday. There's Tyrod Taylor.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say there's just a few wagers on the golf course yesterday. Just a few.
All right, so the white team trailing 3-0, and a change of tailback here is Chance Black. And his first carry, and he gets knocked down. That's Garbett that came in, made a nice play to bring down Chance Black. He's a redshirt freshman from Roebuck, South Carolina.
He's one of those smaller running backs, very explosive. He's got good hands out of the backfield. And you're going to see him, I think, in the return game as well. He's that type of back that you want to try to get him into the open field. He's going to make things happen.
Jason Brown and the white team a bit behind the sticks. He goes to the air, to the left side, and that is Julius, who is a familiar name to Virginia Tech fans. Picks up about 4 or 5 on the play. It'll bring up a 3rd and long.
Yeah, well, whenever you can find your 250-pound tight end, it's like a comfort blanket, right, for a quarterback, especially a couple new quarterbacks. And we've seen both these guys target their tight ends today early.
Another 3rd down for Jason Brown, 3rd and 9. And they're going to blow him dead. This is one of those tough games. If the defense does well, you're happy for them, but you're frustrated with the offense. And then if the offense makes a big play, you're upset with the defense, right?
Always have the advantage in spring games. And people say, well, why is that? Because you're splitting your team up. And most importantly, you're splitting your offensive lineup. Some guys aren't playing. And so offensive lines, you're playing against playing with guys next to you that you really haven't gotten a lot of reps. That's the position where continuity goes a long way. So defenses, these guys pin their ears back to D-line and always get after it.
Offensive guys always have an excuse.
Well,
it's
the truth, Billy. It's the truth.
For this defense. Here is Moore to punt it away to DJ Harvey once again. Again, they're going to let them punt and kick today, kickoffs and punts, but no tackle on the return. Everything has to be a fair catch. And this won't even get that far. It'll roll dead near the 42-yard line. Well, the spring football season rolls on next with Duke's blue-white game at Brooks Field, Wallace Wade Stadium down in Durham. It's our first chance to look at the new head coach down there as well, as the Duke Blue Devils and Coach Elko make their debut. Coming up on ACC Network.
A lot of new coaches in this league, a lot of good coaches in this league.
Grant Wells making his Virginia Tech debut. And again, the way to build a program this year because of the transfer portal, a lot different than, 5 or 6 years ago. Here's a guy that has a lot of experience at the Division I level. Nice throw by Wells, but it's nearly picked. It was tipped and intended for Lofton, and Murray almost came away with the interception.
Exactly what we talked about earlier, right? He had, some interceptions at Marshall, and it's because he's got a strong arm. He just tries to fit it in there between two defenders. He throws it just a touch behind his wide receiver Lofton, who just can't make the catch. But when you do that, sometimes they're going to get picked.
Murray probably wishes he would get it back. Here is Wells again in open field, and he'll be ruled down on the tab by Murray. Now, in a real game, Murray probably brings him down. You can't touch the quarterback other than with one hand today.
Correct, but I think he would have got the first down. And the one thing, talking to Brent Pry about Grant Wells, is he said he's a lot better of an athlete than people give him credit for. And you kind of saw a little burst there when he turned the corner, and you like to see that out of your quarterback.
Another first down throw. Wells, a deep shot. Over the shoulder catch. And the touchdown to Caleb Smith. Seven-yard throw-in catch. Wells to Caleb Smith.
And Caleb Smith, former walk-on who's earned a scholarship, a very steady player. And the thing I noticed here is at the very end, he's going to have just a subtle push-off with his left hand. Not enough to get a call, but you see that separation right there? It's exactly what you want out of a veteran wide receiver. Get that separation from the defensive back, explode through, make the catch, and go in for the score.
Freshman John Love from Spartanburg, South Carolina, adds the extra point, and the Maroon team takes a 10-0 lead.
And that's the matchup you want. You find your receiver, and Caleb Smith's about 6'2", long arms. You got Breon Murray, a defensive back, 5'10", so you got that size advantage. Your receiver can run. I talked about getting that little separation. That is good recognition to find him down that right sideline. Good throw. Good catch, results in a touchdown.
New offense as well. Tyler Bowen is the new Virginia Tech offensive coordinator. He's a young guy. He's just 32 years of age. He comes to the Hokies from the Jacksonville Jaguars, where He was the tight end coach. Before that, he was co-offensive coordinator at Penn State. You know, Tyler played offensive line at Maryland for Ralph Friedgen. His offensive coordinator at Maryland was James Franklin. So you can see the connection. There always seems to be a Ralph Friedgen tie somehow on the Tech coaching staff. But Tyler's just 32. By the way, we got to give him some love. A communications graduate from Maryland, right?
But he was smart. He became a coach.
Yeah.
So maybe it's the other way around.
Well, what a tremendous opportunity Tyler has here.
And listen, as much as we've talked about Virginia Tech wanting to establish the run, and they're going to do that, you have to be able to hit on vertical shots like that right there to keep defenses honest. The offense is looking really well right now if you're a Virginia Tech fan.
Another touchback, and Jason Brown and the white team will come back to the field. Let's go down to Taylor again.
Well, guys, this week I had the opportunity to speak with some of the players, and I asked them about both of these quarterbacks. When speaking about Wells, everyone mentions the arm talent. Like you both mentioned, that is certainly something he showcased at Marshall. He actually completed 16 passes of 40 yards or more last season, putting him in the top 10 among FBS quarterbacks. But when you look at Jason Brown, they all talk about his experience in big games and big moments. Upset wins for South Carolina over Auburn and Florida last season. So he's comfortable and confident, and the team feeds off of that. So look, these fans in attendance here today, even this coaching staff, would love to have an established starting quarterback at this point, but they have two quality candidates, both showing their ability to lead this offense.
Something that the coaches probably take into preseason camp, that competition.
Yeah, Taylor brings up a great point, and you're reading my mind, Bill. You know, in a perfect world, you would have your number one established at the end of the spring to start the fall, but I'm with you. I don't think there will be. I think this battle's going to go into fall camp. Just my observation. I could be wrong, but I think they're that close, and they both bring a lot. So I think this battle will go on into the summer.
Tyler's the offensive coordinator. The Hokies quarterback coach and passing game coordinator is Brad Glenn. They'll obviously work as a staff. What are the odds of getting through the season with just one quarterback anyway? You're going to need more than one. Brown, nice move. Nice throw. He's got his man, but he overthrows him. Ad-libbing for sure, but Wright had broken free, and Brown wishes he had that
intended
throw
for
back.
81, Dalen Wright.
We talked about the
incomplete.
athleticism of Jason Brown, a big quarterback, you can see, but he extends the play, gets out of the pocket, and a throw on the run. He can make the throw, and he had his receiver just a little bit of a timing issue there. And again, in spring, that's one of the things you're trying to work out, right? Making those throws on a run, timing it up with your receiver, especially on plays outside of the pocket.
Brown will watch the film on that for sure. All right, a new punter for Virginia Tech. This will be the guy backing up Peter Moore this year, Nick Belsistis. He's from Fairfax, Virginia, and a freshman. He'll be punting it to Jaden Blue, and I think that is a guy that all year long you're going to hear in stadiums here and on the road. Back to return for Virginia Tech, Jaden Blue.
Well, and you talked about the transfer portal, and every program, including Virginia Tech, loses some guys, but boy, they picked up some real good ones in the transfer portal as well.
The difference now in building rosters isn't what it was.
Yeah.
You don't have to recruit redshirt and hope in 2 years they're ready to go. You can bring in a guy like a Jaden Blue who was so experienced, and two quarterbacks that have had really good careers.
Yeah, so I mean, you move out two, but you bring two in. I mean, it's almost like free agency. It's crazy. And really, the whole transfer portal thing, really what it's kind of hurt some high school kids, right? Because to your point, Bill, there's a lot of programs out there that really recruit the transfer portal a lot harder now than they recruit high school.
Here's Holston, stiff arm, and makes a nice cut to the sideline. And he's across
Jalen
the
Holston,
35-yard line. Yeah, I mean, if you're a Tech fan, you're going, we lost Kadum, we lost Burmeister, but we got Brown and Wells. How do you see the trade?
I mean, I think Virginia Tech upgraded. I really do. I think both these quarterbacks are good. They're both experienced. They bring a lot. And plus, it's a fresh look, right? We talked about kind of a reboot, so it's almost fitting that you got two new quarterbacks with a new system, a new head coach. It just fits.
Wells to the air again, and he just overthrows the intended receiver. That's Luke Bustle down the left sideline. Luke is from Chesapeake, a redshirt sophomore that prepped at Fort Union.
Really good coverage right there, too, by number 20, DJ Harvey. Comes in the nickel a lot. He's one of those guys that just finds the football. It's been really impressive this spring.
Another throw for Wells. Nice move. Really terrific move by Jones. Jalen Jones, the sophomore from Thomas Jefferson High School in Richmond. All right, let's look at the defensive backfield. Now, this is a new look defense. It's more of a traditional 4-3 for guys like Connor. They've got a new safety role in this type of thing. You've got new looks and new terminology for the guys.
And that's one of the things Brent Pry and his coaches did. They kind of evaluated the talent, looked at the defensive scheme they wanted to run, and they moved some guys around. You talked about Jamari Connor playing safety.
Wells, deep ball's got his man. What a throw! And the touchdown again, the second of the day for Caleb Smith. Beautiful throw by Wells.
Beautiful throw by Grant Wells, just drops it in the bucket.
So talk about that. What happened on that play? What did the safeties do? How did they misplay this defensively?
Well, and that's the one thing. So, Shamari Connor playing safety, when you're a corner, it's totally different, right? So you're learning safety principles, right? So I think a lot of the times is eye discipline, right? Your eyes are different from safety to corner, and I think you need this spring to learn. I think his eyes just were inside a little bit too much, or outside, I should say, and the receiver was able to split him down the middle, Caleb Smith, and Connor just could not get back quick enough. And I know I'm talking over the referee, but I think it was a taunting penalty because, Caleb Smith scored his second touchdown. I think he did a little spin with the football there. This ACC crew, they're not letting anything go. They don't care if it's spring ball.
51-yard touchdown reception. Now the extra point for Love. And it is a 17-0 Maroon lead. Well, if we are going to name our player of the quarter, I think Brent has got his guy, huh? Caleb Smith, a 47-yard touchdown, a 51-yard reception. He's from Louisa County High School, redshirt junior, 20 career catches.
And Grant Wells has showed you he can throw the deep ball. A couple beauties today already.
Pretty good opening quarter for the offense. And you see Pry with a high five to Love. He's looking for a kicker, too. When we had the opportunity to visit with Brent yesterday, he said, man, I've been in the defensive coordinator's room for 11 years. Yeah. There's a lot more things. My adjustment is on the CEO side, right?
Correct.
The big whistle, big picture thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that go into running a program that you just don't realize. But the great thing he said to us, which I love, is as a defensive coordinator, he's going to be able, a former defensive coordinator, he's going to be able to sit in there with the offensive coordinator, with Tyler Bowen and say, these are the things that have hurt me as a defensive coordinator trying to stop. And he's going to be able to give that to his offense and say, this is what I think we need to do against opposing defense. It's a great dynamic. I mean, it's what's made Nick Saban so great, So if you kind of emulate that, I think you're doing okay.
So I asked him, I said, how would you describe your offense in one word? He said, spread.
Yeah.
We're going to run the spread. We're going to run the ball. And I said, well, how should we describe your defense? He said, Penn State.
Yeah.
Pull up on the Penn State tape.
tape.
That's what we're going to try to do.
The other thing he said, too, about not just running the ball, he said, we need to run the football against loaded boxes, right? Even teams that know we're going to run it, we want to run it against them. And I think that's why Joe Rudolph is such a big hire, because he was at Wisconsin. Everybody knew Wisconsin was going to run the ball. They overloaded the boxes. But guess what? Wisconsin still ran the football. So that's the kind of concept he wants to have up front.
The ball has blown off the tee a couple of times. And a new kicker. This is a gentleman by the name of Zach Coban, who's going to kick off today. Zach's from West Orange, New Jersey, and a transfer from Rice. Zach Coban. And little bit short to the 3-yard line. And again, automatic touchback today. They don't want any kick coverage injuries. Chance Blank will just catch it.
Just catch it against air. Sometimes that's the toughest thing.
The last thing you want is someone to get hurt in the spring.
Correct.
Game, right?
Well, absolutely, yeah. I mean, you're absolutely doing the right thing. You don't want anything, and really, you can tell them they're not going to go live, but if you put a return team out there, you don't want someone tripping over someone, twisting an ankle, twisting a knee.
All right, let's see what Jason Brown can do. The white team's down 17-0 here in the first quarter, a lot because of that maroon defensive front, which has done a really nice job of getting some heat on him. And he gets ahead for a half a yard at best. And that's Penne, who the coaches really talked about him in our meetings yesterday. He was a tight end. Penne has now moved to that defensive end spot. Hokies have 9 defensive ends, really 8 after one position switch. 8 defensive ends on their roster.
And that edge rusher, that's the most important position, that premium position that Brent Pry is trying to fill.
That's Christian Moss with the catch. Redshirt freshman from North Cobb High School, Kennesaw, Georgia. His first catch of the day in the final 30 seconds of the opening quarter. On the run, and Brown now, you know, he's a really good runner. That kind of gets taken away today because
correct. I mean,
you don't want to hit him. He doesn't want to get
and this is the day, you know, a 230-pound quarterback that can lower the boom on you. If you're a defender, you love this day. You touch him with one hand, and he's down.
Maroon has the 17-0 lead as we go to the second quarter.
Welcome, Blacksburg, everybody. Virginia Tech spring game continues. I am down here on the field with the one and only Dax Hollifield. Now, Dax, I know this is a little strange pulling you away from the game, but how's it been so far, man, being back out here with your guys?
I mean, it's been great. Need better weather than this, but we're up 17-0 right now. Our defense is playing really well. I think they have 0 yards, net 9 rushing, I think. That's what it is. I mean, you can't ask for anything better than that, so yeah.
I mean, guys, he might be taking our jobs. He could call the game. But look, you've been here for a while, heading into your 5th year, but a lot's changed in the past few months. What's the energy like around this program right now?
We just have a bunch of older guys that we came here wanting to just play Virginia Tech football, and we've been here the past few years, but we have a lot of guys bought in. We just want to win. We just want to do the little things, just start from the ground level and build up, you know, and just if you have that, you have guys that are willing to work every day. I mean, the sky's the limit for us, and that's really what we're headed right now. Yeah.
Laying the foundation. We love to hear it. Go enjoy it.
Thank you so much.
All right, Taylor, thanks. Hollifield's going to be a key guy on this team, and he's right. That defense has played really well thus far.
And Hollifield is that one player, you know, that kind of that middle linebacker that needs to really be the leader of that defense, and he's learning a new defensive system right now, too, so he's going to get it, and I believe he will be the one that leads that defense this fall.
Wells, first pass of the second quarter to the near sideline. That'll be a gain to the 19-yard line. All right, we have Hokie royalty in the booth with us, Reenie. Tyrod Taylor, New York Giants quarterback. Tyrod Taylor is here, one of the greatest quarterbacks in Tech history. Welcome back.
Oh, thank you. Glad to be back.
You look great. I love the shades. I love the look. We saw your golf attire yesterday.
Yeah, it was a little better than my golf game, actually.
How'd you play?
I played okay. Let's just say we were using best ball. They used my ball maybe a handful of times. That's about it.
Hey, that's nothing wrong with that.
Well, it's amazing to have you back. When is the last time you were here at Lane?
I believe 4 years ago. I know COVID kind of put things on pause for the last 2 years. I want to say it was 4 years ago. It's always a special place in my heart, obviously. So anytime I could get back, definitely want to get back and support, see a bunch of familiar faces, and just enjoy my time here.
Wells to the air, and it's overthrown.
Tyrod, now there's a buzz now around the program with Brent Pry. Now, when you were here, you went to 2 Orange Bowls. You guys were really successful. What do you think Coach Pry has to do to get the Hokie Nation back to where it was when you were playing.
3 Orange Bowls.
3. Oh, I'm sorry. I see it. 3 Orange Bowls. Sorry. I stand corrected.
Nah, like you said, it is. It's the energy here that you can feel it. And I said that last night when I met Coach Pry at the gala. Just a good energy. Seems like he's taking things in the right direction. Looking forward to seeing how the team plays this year. Obviously, and whenever you have a new coach, people want to see success right away. Things take time. So be patient, but at the same time, always keep it the Hokie way and go about your business in the right fashion.
I'll tell you what's different though today from when you played. You're talking about taking your time. Transfer portal, right? You can get guys in right away now that have experience. It's changes it a little bit.
That's
changes
different.
Dynamic.
That's definitely different. Definitely different from what I experienced. But hopefully we can get some guys. I know we had some guys come in already, but obviously the more that we can get in, or just in recruiting in general, the better we can make our program. Speaking from alumni, we definitely want to see it.
Yeah.
We're going to put your analyst's hat on, Tyrod. I want you to comment on some plays after this punt. So I think
that's a nice punt right here. So let's start with that.
All right, let's look at the monitor here. I want you to tell. All right.
Oh, wow.
I want you to talk about some amazing plays. Look at this one. You remember that?
Yeah, UVA. God, can't forget those days. He's a nice coach, dude.
All right, how about this one?
East Carolina.
Yep, you remember this?
Yep. Juke move.
Yep.
What is this?
Here's
This
another
is Maryland?
deep ball.
This is Maryland, right?
Yep, and then here's my This is my personal favorite.
This is an all-time favorite.
You like this one?
Let's just be quiet and listen to the commentator.
No, let's watch Dominic and Sue try to drag you down. Did you know he had you on the shoulder, right?
Yeah, he did, man. But I had my vision on Darrell in the back. I was just waiting for him to break free. He done a good job of creating some separation and give him a chance to make a play.
You ever talk to Sue about that?
Nah. The times that I've seen Sue has been quick conversation since then. But
he doesn't like you.
He doesn't. I don't think he likes too many quarterbacks, to be honest. He's a hell of a player, though, that's for sure.
17-0 is the score here. The white team trying to get something going. Here's Brown.
Oh, take it deep. Good shot.
Oh, and it's dropped. Incomplete. Hey, let's talk about you a little bit. New York Giants quarterback, Tyrod Taylor. First of all, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Are you excited? New
Absolutely.
coaching staff. It's going to be an exciting time in New York.
Absolutely. I actually spent the last 2 weeks there. We started early, but being that we have a new head coach. So just getting a feel for the guys, getting a feel for the coaching staff. Similar to like here, this experience this past weekend, just great energy within the building and looking forward for big things.
Now, I shortchanged you an Orange Bowl. I'm not going to shortchange you. 12th year, right? 12th year in the NFL?
Yes, sir.
What's the key to longevity as a quarterback in the NFL that long? Because that's a phenomenal career.
Obviously taking care of your body and being a quarterback, you don't get hit as much as the other guys that are in the trenches or that have contact every day. But like I said, taking care of your body and just doing the right things day in and day out, studying, preparing, making sure you're ready for each opportunity.
And, of course, you got Tom Brady, who's played 20, 22 years. I mean,
for sure.
That's motivation, right, to keep you going.
Absolutely. I mean, he's still playing at a high level at his age, and it's impressive. So, like you said, I mean, you add that into your off-season motivation, and you take that into each season.
Well, let me ask you this. You're a guy that's played in the league. You're an experienced quarterback going into a new program. That's the same thing, but on the collegiate level, that Brown and Wells have here. Mm-hmm. They've played other places. They're experienced. They've got a new head coach and a new coordinator. Much like you do, what would your advice be to Jason and Grant? Experienced, but it's a new start for them as well.
Yeah, take what you've learned in your past experiences and make it and help it make you a better person and a better player. Obviously, lead in the way that you're comfortable leading, but go out and just command the huddle. That's what guys respond well to is commanding.
All-time Hokie great, 12th year in the NFL, now with the Giants. Go New York Giants. We're with you, man. Thanks, Tyrod.
Thank you.
Great to see you, partner. Back. Hey, Rini, what do you think of the Virginia Tech Football Players Lounge? This is brand new. They just finished it up in January. Look at that theater.
It's actually one of the nicest I've ever seen. I mean, it's unbelievable. And you need that today. I mean, the players, the recruits come in and just – it is phenomenal.
The Singani Players Lounge, which was completed right after Coach Pry was hired. By the way, Virginia Tech got a major $5 million gift from alumnus Win Sheridan this year to renovate the locker room as well. So that's going to look just like that as well. Very important as a new staff comes in for recruiting and imaging.
It is. I mean, this facility, this is my first trip to Blacksburg.
Is that
Virginia
right?
Tech. I love the stadium. You got the softball stadiums, baseball behind you, soccer. I love how it's all so close. It's just beautiful facilities in the addition. The locker room, players lounge, phenomenal. And when you've got great donors that can help out like that, it goes such a long way to help out the program.
That was Bryce Duke with the carry. He's from Tuscarora High School, and he was brought down by Matt Johnson.
And Duke's a true freshman, one of those early enrollees, getting some early work in spring ball.
That'll be another first down on the run. And again, if you're just joining us, the quarterbacks are in orange. You can't hit the QB. No reason for Grant Wells to slide. He's had a pretty good game. He's thrown for 175 yards and 2 long touchdowns.
And coming into this game, we knew how strong Grant Wells' arm was. And he kept that up here. His speed has really impressed me when he gets outside the pocket and runs. He's faster than I thought he was.
Wells, that'll officially be a sack for Pollard. Speaking of sacks, no one in this program, no one in the NFL ever had more than number 78. You know who I'm talking about, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm joined by an absolute legend down here on the sidelines, none other than Bruce Smith. Bruce, how's it feel to be back?
I just love coming back to Blacksburg and being on the campus around all of the Hokie Nation. It's a special place.
The guys up in the booth were talking about your impact on the field, which goes without saying, NFL's all-time leader in sacks. As you sit here and watch the next generation of Virginia Tech defense, what do you want to see out of them?
I want to see more in-state players stay in-state. That's where our talent pool comes from. And I think that we've lost our way over the last few years and not recruiting to the best of our ability and keeping this talent in state. Yeah.
Fantastic answer. I'm sure fans would agree with you there. Now, obviously, the impact that you had here as well as at the next level, Hall of Famer. I mean, I could go on and on, but how do you think your time at Virginia Tech prepared you for the next level?
I wouldn't be saying it was a maturation process, obviously, coming from Norfolk, Virginia, having 2 outstanding coaches, Cal Davidson and Zeke Avery. And then moving on and coming here to Virginia Tech, where I was coached by Bill Dooley, who taught me how to be successful in life, not only in football, but in life. And I think the foundation that was laid and set for me here at Virginia Tech helped pave the way for a lot of the great things I was able to accomplish.
We actually spoke with Coach Pry this week, and he was telling us that an effective edge rusher can change a game entirely. He said he's looking for that alpha dog at that position. What advice would you give to that group?
Well, I think I just gave you a bit of it. We need to keep our talent in-state, and preferably in Virginia Tech. But there's so many mechanics that goes into an edge rusher. The sack, that dominant pass rusher can change the outcome of a game. It's the most dominating play in any football, whether it's college, high school, or pro. You have an opportunity to sack the quarterback, strip the quarterback, cause a forced fumble, and recover it potentially for a touchdown. So it's the most devastating play in football, and being able to put constant pressure on the quarterback leads to interceptions. You can also knock the quarterback out legally. So it is just so vital to have a dominant alpha at that pass rushing position.
Something you did all too well. Great to have you here. Thanks for chatting with me.
Thank you, Taylor.
Guys, a Hall of Famer, tough to beat.
One of the great ambassadors for this football program over the years. One of the greatest players in this program's history and NFL history, obviously.
So I was in Buffalo for a couple of years when Bruce Smith was there. What makes him a dominant edge rusher is his first step is better than anybody's. He got up, around and through offensive tackles before anyone. He's got really long legs, and he was super explosive off the ball.
Brown dumps it off. This is Black again, just to the 30-yard line. Let's look at the defensive line, what the Hokies have coming into 2022. Now, boy, they lost a really good one. I think everyone knows in Barno.
Barno, yeah.
But those are the new names in the middle, and the guys in the middle we've seen Fuga, Garbutt, Pollard all make big plays already here in this first half.
Yeah, Fuga's stepped up. He's had a good spring. They like him at that defensive tackle spot. Again, looking for that edge rusher, right? That Brent Pry told us, and they move some guys around, so they're looking for it. And this spring has been really good, but it's going to go right into the fall camp to see who they get and who ultimately steps up in that position.
There's J.C. Price, who is the defensive line coach. He was the interim coach at the end of the 21 season for Virginia Tech and was retained by Coach Pry. By the way, Bruce Smith made a really salient point talking about recruiting in state. If I told you, and I did the Penn State bowl game, if I told you that Penn State had 4 Virginians starting on the defense, that Brent Pry recruited to Penn State, would you be surprised? Because they did.
That's it. You got to put the proverbial fence around your house, and that's what Bruce Smith's talking about.
Pry in his Lane Stadium debut, the Hokies spring game in Blacksburg. Hey, if you're a lacrosse fan, Thursday night is for you. Another lacrosse doubleheader on ACCN and the ESPN app, starting with number 15 North Carolina men taking on number 10 Notre Dame at Arlana Family Stadium at 6 Eastern, and then the number 1 ranked North Carolina women back on ACCN to host number 7 Duke at Dorrance Field. Another great night. It doesn't matter what the sport is, Duke versus Carolina, that is something to watch. On the run is Keyshawn King, and he's across the 30-yard line.
And talking to the coaches about King, they said he's shown some nice flashes this spring, and you love the fact that he can catch the ball out of the backfield, turn it up, get a nice gain.
Wells on the run. The thing about King, and I think he would even be the first to admit it, is inconsistent might be the word.
Sure.
3 really good plays, a couple of good games, and then something happens. Miss in the blitz pickup, or something just doesn't work for him.
And that's the
right?
culture thing I think Brent Pry wants to bring here is concentration. And what he noticed, he said when he watched a lot of film, is the start of the plays were great. The middle of the plays were great. A lot of plays aren't getting finished, right? And he goes, guys, we got to finish plays. And I think that's one thing you're going to see with this team on the field in the fall is really finishing plays both offensively and defensively.
That was Artis making the play defensively. Now, all these guys are new to the coaches, so they have not seen Artis just on tape, but he jumped out this spring for Pry.
Yeah, and so that's really what Brent Pry's doing too. I mean, you're evaluating all your talent. We talked about moving some players around, but Keyshawn Artis is one that has made plays, made one right there, and that's another thing too. Trying to, when the coaches go back and look at this spring game tape, obviously someone's going to pop up for having a good game. That's going to go a long way for them getting playing time and reps this fall.
Peter Moore to punt it away to DJ Harvey. Again, no punt returns today. Peter slipped a bit on the Bermuda grass. That's his best punt of the day, all the way to the 10-yard line. Well, coming up tonight, the Huddle crew will have highlights and analysis from the day's 4 ACC spring football games. Our coverage starts at 10 Eastern, right here on ACCN and the ESPN app, right after the UVA Quinnipiac men's lacrosse game.
How great is the ACC network, right? If you're a college football fan, in particular an ACC fan, every single ACC team on ACC network. Great stuff. Gets you excited. You wish August into September was coming a little quicker, but it'll be here quick.
Yeah, we had 4 games last week, 4 games again today. Brown's in trouble, and he shows his ability to move, but Hollifield got him on the way by, and that'll go as a sack for Dax. Loss of 4.
How about this crowd today, though? We talked about it. Beautiful day. A lot of great fans. We take a look at Brown under pressure. Tries to step up and Obviously, you're not going to tackle him, so it's blown dead.
Well, with COVID and no spring football, it was really tough the last couple of years. I think the fans, the former players, everyone is just excited to be back. You were up at Pitt last week.
Yeah, a little cold, a little chilly.
I was down in Tallahassee for their game. Same kind of thing, right? Everyone is just so excited, particularly the alums, to come back. And for kids in the transfer portal like a Brown, they want to show their stuff, and these fans, they want to see the new guys.
Well, and another player, I failed to mention it on that last play, who stepped up and made that tackle on Jason Brown was Keante Jenkins. He's that player that was really good in the secondary that's going to move up and probably play the Sam linebacker position next year for this defense.
Brown on the move, ahead of the 15. All right, let's talk about linebackers, because Virginia Tech this year is going to run the Penn State defense. What is that? It's a traditional 4-3 defense.
Yeah, and so we talked about Dax Hollifield kind of being the anchor. Keante Jenkins, I think, is a really cool addition to the linebackers. Again, an experienced player that played safety in the secondary, but big enough and strong enough and certainly athletic enough to step up, play that outside linebacker, play that Sam linebacker spot. So, I think you're going to see a lot of him, and I think he is going to be a key part to that Hokies defense in the fall.
There's 33-year-old Chris Marv, the defensive coordinator for Virginia Tech, an all-SEC linebacker at Vanderbilt. He comes to the Hokies from Florida State. Uh-oh. Well, you'll see some of that in a spring game. The snap leads to a safety.
But you hate seeing it when there's no one lined up over your long snapper. It'll drive coaches nuts.
Well, Moore played it right. You boot it out of the back of the end zone.
Yeah,
Give up 2, not 6.
Correct.
If you're wondering why there's a kickoff after a safety, among the things that probably are least likely to be practiced in spring football for a new coaching staff is the free kick.
Yeah, the air punt on a free kick.
Yeah, they don't. Who's on that team? They're not that far along. Surprised, like, let's just kick it off again and give him the ball on the 20-yard line. And so Wells will get another opportunity. 19-0 is the score. A lot of logistics for every football team, but even more so for a new staff and a first-time head coach.
And again, I mentioned this earlier, and that's why spring football is so imperative. Every practice, every meeting, this spring game, I mean, you're putting in 2 new systems, offense and defense. Virtually your entire staff is new. So this is invaluable time for this staff with these players.
That was Nike Hawkins timing it perfectly on the pass intended for Caleb Smith. All timing here. Yeah. Oh, maybe early.
I got there a little early, but listen, we have the luxury of looking at it in slow motion. So if the side judge that's staring at it on the sideline isn't going to throw a flag, that's a good hit to me. That's how you separate the man from the ball if you're Nike Hawkins.
Wells on the move on second down, and he'll step out of bounds. More on Brent, because he's had other opportunities to be a head coach. He's 52 years old. He coached for his dad.
Yeah.
At the Division III school, East Stroudsburg State. His father was the head coach. By the way, the quarterback at East Stroudsburg was?
Tell me.
James Franklin.
James Franklin, there you go.
Yeah, it all comes back to Coach Franklin, right? But he waited his time, and they had such good teams, particularly on defense at Penn State. And Brent was the architect of that. And Brent, Virginia Tech fans have said, why are all those kids from Northern Virginia playing at Penn State? Brent Pry.
Brent Pry, yeah.
He's a guy that can win in the living room and win mom as well.
Correct. And as Tyrod Taylor we talked about and Bruce Smith talked about, you got to keep those kids home, right? And I think Brent Pry is going to do a great job doing that. Now, you talked about he had other opportunities, but when you're 52 years old, you're established assistant coach, a great coordinator, you're going to be particular where you go as a head coach. You're going to wait for that right spot. And there's no doubt after talking to him, this was a spot that he coveted. And I just think it's a great match, and I think he's going to do really good things here. And I think the ACC conference, with his defensive style, right, if he gets the right personnel in place, I think he believes he can make headway in this conference and do it pretty quickly.
Well, we saw last year's ACC championship team, although it had a tremendous quarterback, win with defense.
I did the Pitt spring game last week. They bring back, I think, more talent on that team than Pat Narduzzi's ever had. But it was predicated by defense, no doubt about it, and running the ball first. That's what they want to do. Kind of the same blueprint that Brent Pry wants to do here at Virginia Tech.
Marco Lee is in the game at running back for the first time for the white squad. Brown steps into a throw and delivers on the money to Wright. That'll be a first down.
And I like the patience there from Jason Brown. Everything's unfolding around him in the pocket. He steps up and he throws a strike to his receiver, Dalen Wright.
Now, we asked the coaches, what's a name that we've not heard so far this spring? Who has jumped out? And they all said 81, Dalen Wright. He's a freshman from Saluda, South Carolina.
Well, he made a couple one-handed catches this spring, and after he made them, Coach Pry said, I'm not sure I know his name. And guess what? He knew his name after that. I mean, that's one of the things as a new head coach. You got a lot of guys on the team. You're trying to learn names and faces, and you know numbers, and then all of a sudden you make a couple plays and you stand out. Guess what? Coach is going to know you.
Well, this is the time, first time going through it with these guys. Every player has his name and tape on the helmet. By next year that's not going to happen. But it's a fresh start for people to emerge.
Next year, some of the players are going to wish Coach Pry forgot their name.
Well, 81 is a guy to watch. And they list him at 6'1", 175. And again, he redshirted last year.
And again, those younger players in the weight room, in the off-season training, they're going to gain some size, gain some muscle. He's a good-looking receiver. He's got those nice long arms. You know he can stretch the field. He made that catch over the middle in traffic, which you like to see.
26 seconds to go in the first half. The white team trying to get on the board here. When they split the team in half, it's mighty tough. The maroon defensive line has been really impressive today.
Yeah, and again, and I said this earlier, and people are like, sour grapes now. Defenses have advantages, and again, you're not only splitting the team up, you're splitting the offensive linemen up. They're a lot of times playing next to guys they're just not, comfortable because they just don't get a lot of reps next to them, and that's a position where you need continuity. So advantage defense in spring games.
And they got him again. Not a whole lot Brown could do, and it'll be fourth down.
Man, that was Gunnar Gibbons, 32 there on the defense. That was a defensive end last year that the coaches looked like to move it in and play defensive tackle.
That is the end of the first half here at Lane Stadium.
That is the end of the first half.
You go back over Brent Pry's career, all the way back when he was down in Louisiana. Gentlemen that he has coached that have gone to the NFL. This is a really impressive list. Charles Tillman played for the Cajuns with the Bears. Really terrific players.
And not just players that made it to the NFL, players that produced in the NFL, had great NFL careers. And take a look at Micah Parsons right there. He's arguably one of, if not the best linebacker in the NFL.
That's what Coach Pry wants to get. He was looking for the next Micah Parsons to play in the orange and maroon. A year ago, the Hokies finished 500 in the league, tied with UVA 4-4. Pittsburgh won the division. Pittsburgh won the ACC championship game, and on paper is the prohibitive favorite, should be the unanimous favorite to win again, even though it lost its quarterback. They've got more talent returning from the all-conference team than anybody on the coastal side.
They do, and I do agree with you. They're the team to beat. But it's really interesting talking to Brent Pry about the ACC conference and dominating defense, right? And he said if you look at the conference, Clemson was really good, right? And what did they do? They dominated defensively. They dominated up front, although everyone wants to talk offense. So he believes if you can get that dominating defense, especially here at Virginia Tech, you can really make headway in this conference and compete and give your chance to win it all. And we talked about it earlier. That's kind of what Pitt did last year.
Here's the Hokies schedule starting in Norfolk. That's where Coach Pry and the staff will officially make their debut down in Norfolk on September 2nd. The Hokies will play BC, their annual crossover game from the Atlantic Division in Coach Pry's home game home opener on the 10th. And personally, my man, I'm looking forward to the West Virginia game on a Thursday night at Lane Stadium. That is going to be a lot of fun.
And if you can get off to a great start, right? If you can beat Old Dominion, if you can beat Boston College, it gives you a conference win. If you can beat a tough FCS team in Wofford, 3-0 going into that West Virginia game, holy cow, right? Things will be looking good for the start.
So in the second half, we will have a running clock.
Things
that was planned.
Go a little quicker in this second half, believe me.
When we are finished here at Lane Stadium, we're going to throw things over to our pals in Durham for the Duke spring game. And much like Coach Pry, Coach Elko is making his debut this year for Duke.
Yeah, again, a lot of good coaches, a lot of new good coaches in this league. A few defensive-minded guys as well.
Coach Elko was at Notre Dame. He was at Texas A&M as defensive coordinator. And now the head coach at Duke, replacing David Cutcliffe in Durham.
There's no doubt Coach Elko, much like Coach Pry here, is going to try to bring that defensive culture, try to play that dominating defense, run the ball, get things going there at Duke.
They call it the blue-white game at Duke. Brooks Field, Wallace Wade Stadium. That's an ACC coastal opponent of Virginia Tech. With new coaches at Duke, Virginia Tech, Miami, and UVA. There's some new faces on the coastal side in the coaches' meetings.
Yeah, Mario Cristobal going home to Miami. I think that was a big deal, right, for the conference, too.
You know, we've got a great crowd here today. This is the biggest crowd that I've seen in the ACC this year, but Miami did sell out at spring game today. They played it up in Fort Lauderdale because Hard Rock's they're doing some work there. They moved the game even farther north, and they sold out the soccer stadium up there today. Here's Kyle Love to kick things off. Second half is underway here at Lane Stadium. And the recruits see that, right? Hokies have about 100 recruits here today. They see those tailgate tents.
No doubt about it. You see the crowd, you see the energy, and you see all the alumni coming back, right? Big-time alumni. Again, it goes a long way to help in recruiting. And this fan base is just energized. They're hungry for the fall, and I think they're excited about the hire of Brent Pry.
All right, our first look now at Taj Bullock from Jersey City, New Jersey at quarterback for Virginia Tech. He wears number 15 in white. They list him at 6'4", 228, and we've got a flag to start things off on the first play for Bullock. Now, unlike...
False start. Offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Unlike Brown and Wells, Bullock is live.
Yeah, Bullock.
Which is good news or bad news if you're Bullock?
Well, he's a great athlete. I mean, that's one thing. He's got great speed, and he's still learning. He's a young player learning the new system.
Bullock hands it off, and that is Black again, the redshirt freshman, and he gets ahead to the 21-yard line, and it'll bring up a second down. Really athletic guy. Lot to learn as well from the Hokies' new quarterback coach, Brad Glenn. Throws off his back foot and completes it on the left side to Black. And he's across the 25 to the 27-yard line. That was Alan Tisdale that made the tackle for the Maroon team defense, which has been stifling today. It's allowed just 4 total yards on the day.
Nice quick release, though, by Bullock there. I like that. Finding Black out of the backfield.
3rd and 8 for Bullock. Deep ball, and he just overthrows his intended receiver, Jaden Blue.
Yeah, but that's where you got to put that ball, to the outside where your receiver Blue can make the catch, and if he can't get there on that little X route between the inside and outside receivers, no one gets it.
Coach Pry was joking that he's seen too much of punter Peter Moore today, and he's going to have one more punt now. off the side of his foot. He's had some good punts. That wasn't a good one. Timeout on the field early in the third quarter. The Virginia Tech Maroon team ahead 19-0 in Blacksburg. Here in the third quarter, we're pleased to be joined by head coach Brent Pry, who led his team through the tunnel to enter Sandman, and he's joining us on the field. Coach, what are your impressions so far of what you've seen today?
First of all, the fans have been unbelievable. This crowd was awesome today. And, you know, I wish we could give them a few more explosive plays. I'd like to get that white group moving a little bit better. I don't think you're wrong. We can't hear you. I can't hear you. I don't think.
Well, that's his coaching staff that can't hear him in the booth. They think he's calling plays.
Yeah, that's right.
Coach, we got you loud and clear on the air. Yeah, we got you.
Coach, you're talking about explosive plays, but Grant Wells got a couple for you to Caleb Smith stretching the field, showing that arm talent. You had to be happy with Grant Wells in that first half.
Yeah, I tell you, I like the way he was spinning the ball, running the offense. A couple of miscommunications, but I was pleased with Grant in that first half.
How hard has it been to split the team in two in a game such as this? It has to be an incredible challenge.
Yeah, that was tough. You know, you want to keep it even if you can and let the guys have a chance to compete and be successful. We had a couple of guys we pulled for injuries kind of at the end there late in the week, which has hurt that offensive line a little bit.
Well, and Coach, you know as a defensive coach by trade, you know, those D linemen, they pin their ears back because in these spring games, you know, you're splitting up the offensive line. A lot of times guys are playing next to a guy. They just haven't got a lot of reps, and continuity is so important for the offensive line. So it can always be a struggle for offensive linemen in these games.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Here's your big play.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, he spit the ball out. No, he didn't. Yeah, we made Taj and Devin gave them an opportunity to be live today to see what they could do. They're both dual threat guys that got good wheels and want to see them running around a little bit.
I was going to say the ball hadn't hit the ground just yet. Farrell got it on the ground there. What do you like about Devin?
Yeah, Devin's, I tell you what, he's one of those guys that can extend plays. You know, he quarterbacked his high school team. You think about it, you know, he should really still be back at Milton. He quarterbacked those guys to state championship in December, you know, and lost in the finals. But this is a guy that is composed for a freshman. He learns pretty well. And as I said, you know, we like his feet. And he's got a pretty strong arm.
All right, take us through here. How much red zone, how much goal line have y'all put in? Give us a sense of what's happening here.
Yeah, you know, we haven't done much on the goal line. We've done some two-point situations. We started that a few weeks ago. We'd open up our field goal block period with some two-point plays, you know, get a couple of those in. With the way the overtime rules are now, you know, that's not just for the players, but that's for the staff as well.
There's Farrell, and he takes it in for the touchdown.
Kick it once. Here we go.
Well, he made the right read, didn't he?
He sure did. He sure did. It's good to see.
Yeah, great push up front, Coach, by the offensive line there. Nice quarterback draw. You got the perfect patience there. You got the running back out in front blocking for him, and he gets it in the end zone. That's a well-executed play right there.
Yeah, that's right. That was a good-looking play.
Here's Ross in. You're making some kicking evaluations this spring, too, aren't you?
That's right, which is difficult with the wind conditions down here on this field today. But I've seen some good things. I tell you, that young place kicker, Love's doing a nice job. He's been pretty steady all spring.
Thanks, Coach. We appreciate you.
I appreciate y'all. Enjoy the rest of the game.
Standing by.
Kind of like having the coach mic'd up, huh?
It's nice.
Back in a moment.
And I'll reiterate myself. I love the facilities here. I love the athletic facilities, how they're all so tight and close, and you can kind of walk over from one to the other. It's really a great setup.
That was Hoban kicking off again, and it went through the end zone for the touchback. By the way, I loved having Coach Pry mic'd up. What we did there, we actually tapped into the coach's headset. Can you imagine if you could do that for an entire game?
Well, listen, you know.
What you might hear might not be suitable for air, However, it would be fascinating to be able to hear the coaches communicate.
And congratulations to you, Bill. I didn't mention it. You're coming back, for those who don't know, as the voice of the Hokies on radio. So maybe you could do that for your radio broadcast, you know? Maybe you can.
I don't think coaches would go for that.
Well, if anyone was going to do it, it would be the voice of the school. So.
And I think for a spring game, we might get away. Here is Bullock. There's some explosive speed by Bullock across midfield, and they track him down at the 34.
And that's the one thing you love about both Farrell and Bullock. They can really hurt you in the run game. That's just a little zone read there. He puts it in the belly of his running back. Hampton pulls it out, and then Bullock, boy, gets down that left sideline in a hurry. It's a good-looking run. And, you know, Bullock's not a small guy either, 228 pounds. He is built. He's a physical person there at quarterback.
He got 42 yards on that run. They keep it on the ground again. This is the best drive of the day for the team in white. Chance Black with another carry.
And we talked about Chance Black earlier in this game as probably being the most explosive running back. And you see it there as he presses the hole and bounces it out to the left side. So inside handoff, move in. That's called pressing, and then bounce to the left. Use your speed, get outside, turn the corner, and get the first down.
Bullock wishes he had that one back as he misfires to Eller. The white team has just 62 total yards for the game. They got 52 of them on this possession.
And there's a pride thing going on here, right? There's no doubt they want to get some points on their board. They don't want to hear all offseason before training camp starts that they got shut out. So.
Turning clock, 8 seconds to go. This will be the final play of the third quarter. Can the white team get on the board? Bullock's going to try, and he dives ahead to the 22-yard line. That is the end of quarter number 3 in the 2022 spring game. The Maroon team ahead 26-0.
One word.
I'm one of those kids who has cancer.
One challenge.
300 nights in the hospital.
Probably upwards of 10 surgeries.
2 bone marrow transplants.
Chemotherapy, radiation.
They've given me 3 months to live.
One hope.
We hope his treatment is working. We just hope.
We need your help with a fight that began one night when one man gave one speech.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Are you overwhelmed with more than $10,000 in credit card debt? Is inflation making it even harder to pay down your debt? Did you know Credit Associates can help you reduce that debt and save you thousands? First, there's the total amount of credit card debt you owe. Whoa! We can reduce that by almost half. Those decades you'll be in debt? We reduce that down to as little as 24 to 36 months, giving you up to 20 debt-free years back. Lastly, how about the stress of being in debt while inflation just keeps climbing? We can help reduce that too. It's easy to get started, so don't wait another minute. Call Credit Associates now. 1-800-900-8320. Reduce your debt by almost half and save thousands. There's no risk to call. The information is completely free, and you could be debt-free sooner than you realize. 1-800-900-8320.
Death Valley, the 404, the Loud House.
It's game time, baby.
Enter Sandman, running through the smoke. Shake the gate. Fear the sphere, the packed out. You know what time it is.
I'm coming.
An offense that will not be stopped.
Lockdown defense. Intensity, defeating your rivals. Break the rock, dethroning the champs.
Who's going to make a play?
This is ACC football.
We are into the fourth quarter here at Lane Stadium. Welcome back, everybody. A fantastic day of spring football. Fantastic day of spring football here at Virginia Tech. I am now joined by offensive lineman Silas Janzi, who was just jamming during commercial break. We're having fun over here. But Silas, it's been a few months of a lot of change for this program. What's it been like for veterans like yourself?
It's been a tough adjustment, but the coaches made it easy. A lot of us as seniors really came together and told us, like, we have to make this work. Like, there's no other option. They're not going nowhere, and they want to make it work, so just got to work with them, to be honest. And that's what we're doing.
Now, another staff change that happened was bringing in Coach Rudolph to work with the offensive line. You spoke with me this week about what all he's been working on with you guys. What kind of improvements have you seen once he joined the staff?
Really just offensive linemen getting really comfortable with him and actually, like, listening. Yeah. They're just really, everything that he talks to us, we're just soaking it up like a sponge. A lot of improvement from the young guys. I said before, Janzi Hansen, I think was like the most improved person on this offense. Just playing next to him to see how much he's grown. Daniel Militic, how much he's grown coming from Germany and all that. So I think everyone's really improved, and we love Coach Rudolph. He can be serious, and he can have a good time with us as well, so we love that.
Good stuff. Thanks for joining me. It's been a great day here at Lane Stadium. We've got plenty more spring football action. Don't go anywhere. They're really working on understanding and technique. That's really been his emphasis. But he said even the little things, flexibility in hips. He even said he changed his stance so he's more efficient in both run and pass. So he's really making the most of the little time in this spring game. I think back to what Coach Pry told us this week. They've kind of been looking at this thing in phases. So obviously you had winter, phase 1. Now you're into phase 2. So they've upped it up a little bit on the details. But for Coach Rudolph, he's a guy that really implements technique. He's adjusting where needed. And look, this is a position that they would like to see more depth at, but the guys that are here are really benefiting from having him.
One thing that Coach Pry mentioned, he really loves the fact that his team has had tremendous energy. He thinks their focus is there, but he did not hold back talking about the lack of fundamentals on this team. He was very outspoken about what's important to me as a coach.
Yeah.
This group doesn't.
And discipline, it goes right along with that, right? It fits into it. And people say when a coach comes, you always hear, change the culture. What does that mean? If a coach says a meeting's at 3 o'clock, but he really wants you there at 2:45, your butts are in the seats at 2:45. If you're supposed to have hats off and sitting up, paying attention, eyes on him, that's what he wants. That's culture.
Offense.
And if you weren't doing that, and I'm not saying that wasn't happening here, but I'm just pointing out to an example of a lot of programs are like that. You're just, if a meeting's at 3, you walk in at 2:58, 2:59, you might have a hat on, a baseball hat, and they say, oh, that's okay, that's kind of the new way. No, there's a lot of coaches that are blue collar that say, you're there early, your hats are off, you're sitting up straight, and your eyes are on whatever coach is talking.
Taylor, what do you have for us on that regard?
I completely echo that sentiment, guys, and I spoke with a lot of the players about the culture change, and they said one thing that Coach Pry and staff have really been emphasizing is a hatred for losing, and you would think that's a given in a competitive sport, right? But unfortunately, with back-to-back losing seasons, some of the players admitted you almost get used to it. It doesn't mean it doesn't affect you, but you almost get used to it. So Coach Pry has really implemented competition in every facet. Back in the winter, they were doing what they called hunger drills, making everything a competition, even tug of rope, if you will, and tire pulls, individual and team drills, becoming competition so that you hate losing. Whether it's in the weight room, in the classroom, or on the field on Saturday, you're going to hate losing if you play for Virginia Tech.
One more punt with 5:20 to go in the fourth quarter.
And we talked about a lot of players changing positions, and a player made a play earlier that we didn't really get a chance to talk about because we were having this discussion, but 87 for White, Kelly Lawson is now playing outside linebacker. He was a wide receiver. So that's a huge transition, right? You're going from offense to defense, but you're tough enough to do it playing that linebacker position. That's a great job by Kelly Lawson.
Punt down on the 35. Brent Pry's first spring game at Virginia Tech. Back in a moment.
America, you love alien tape, and now you can get 2 rolls for free. That's right, free. Introducing Alien Tape, the double-sided ultra-strong tape that bonds instantly and holds on tight. Just cut alien tape to size, place it where you want it, peel off the back, and it bonds instantly to almost any surface. And when you're done, just give it a twist, and it comes right off. Check this out. Alien tape works on glass, metal, wood, tile, carpet, and so much more. It sticks instantly to almost anything. And Alien Tape is reusable. Give it a good rinse, let it dry, and it's just as strong. Let me show you. Alien Tape is strong enough to hold this heavy 10-pound weight, this piece of wood, this brick, and this heavy glass pan. You'll wonder how you ever lived without it. Use it right in the shower to keep what you need in reach. And remember, Alien Tape is the double-sided, removable, washable, and reusable tape America loves. Alien Tape is great for a quick fix all around the house. There are hundreds, maybe even thousands of uses for Alien Tape. You'll use it indoors, outdoors, and all around the house. Alien Tape's nano grip technology locks into place and holds tight. It will even hold this gallon of water. It's amazing. Now here's your chance to try Alien Tape's limited time TV offer.
Call or go online to get your roll of the incredible Alien Tape for the low price of just $19.99 plus shipping and processing. Order today, and you can get 2 additional rolls of Alien Tape absolutely free. That's right, you can get 3 rolls of Alien Tape for one low price. Here's how to order.
To order, call 1-800-995-0336. That's 1-800-995-0336, or go to tryalientape.com. So call 1-800-995-0336 or order online at tryalientape.com.
Thursday night, we have another lacrosse doubleheader on ACCN and the ESPN app. We start with the number 15 North Carolina men taking on number 10 Notre Dame at Arlada Family Stadium at 6 Eastern. Then the Tar Heels' number 1 ranked women's lacrosse team takes on number 7 Duke. That'll be Thursday night, another great night of lacrosse. That was Jalen Hampton showing his stuff here in the final couple of minutes.
Yeah, nice explosion there by Hampton off that left side. Almost breaks that second tackle. Ground can't cause a fumble, but you still want to hold on to it as a running back. Never let that thing get loose.
First down and 10, a play fake. This is Locklear and a deep shot. It's caught, and the receiver trips and goes down. That's Rashid. Freshman from Forest Park High School, Woodbridge, Virginia. Nearly had a big touchdown.
Yeah, nice concentration, make the catch. Just couldn't keep his feet to get it in there. But great concentration with the defender coming over. Can't make the play.
Running clock, can't stop the clock. This is Ben Locklear at quarterback. Gonna throw it again, dumps it short. It's deflected and pinballed and caught by the lineman. I believe that was Brady Meadows. He's gonna get Brody Meadows, a freshman from Graham High School in Bluefield, Virginia. He's got himself a catch.
And it's a legal reception because it was touched first, so then the lineman can catch it. So, yeah, you're going to ask Brody Meadows, how'd you do in the spring game? I had a reception.
He's the secret goal line offense receiver at right guard. Locklear to the end zone, nicely delivered for the touchdown. Nice job by Ben Locklear, freshman from Woodbury Forest. That was Dusenberry that made the catch. Connor Dusenberry from Richmond. The touchdown in the final minute. And they are celebrating like they've won the game.
Well, great throw from Ben Locklear right there. Throws an absolute dime to that up pylon there on the out pattern. And Dusenberry runs a nice out route right there. And Locklear puts it on him for the touchdown.
They're going to call celebrating guys coming off the bench to celebrate. But for Ben Locklear, the freshman from Woodbury Forest, that's a nice way to end the spring, isn't it?
Well, and the White scores a touchdown, right? So they feel good about that. And it's a nice drive. Hey, up-tempo. Maybe that's what the White needed to do.
Here's the extra point attempt. This will be the last play of the spring game. I spoke too soon. They moved early.
Ball start. Offense number 77. 5-yard penalty. We attempt to try.
Well, Stuart Hinman, the referee from the ACC, they got to get their work in too, so we get it.
Coach Pry is going to say that's it, and 26-9 will be the final score of the game. Well, coming up tonight, the Huddle crew will have the highlights and analysis from the day's 4 spring football games. Our coverage starts at 10 Eastern, right here on ACCN and the ESPN app, after the Quinnipiac UVA men's lacrosse game. Let's go down to Taylor once again with the coach.
Your first spring game in the books. How'd it feel?
We got a W. I saw some good things, and that's what's important. There's things to build on, some things to compliment the guys on, and then certainly a lot to still correct. But we're.
You talked to us this week about separating the past few months and the months to come into phases, that spring ball has been a phase. What do you think's been accomplished in spring alone?
Yeah, I think we're more competitive for sure than when we started this thing, and that was the object in phase 1 and 2. Our winter program, spring ball, we had to become more competitive. We did that. We had to improve fundamentally. We've done that. To me, that's what you're trying to accomplish there.
Now, plenty more to learn about this team in the coming months, a lot more competition even within the team. What are you still looking to learn about your group?
Yeah, again, just to fight, and to make sure this summer, we're going to turn it up on them. It's going to be a challenging summer. That's our phase 3. We got to get some guys to get closer to their potential. That's kind of our job as coaches. If they'll work hard, then let's identify weaknesses and build on them and get these guys better.
From an energy standpoint on the sidelines to a full stadium over here, loud and energized, how do you feel the foundation that you're laying?
Yeah, I love the excitement's been just fantastic, and that's everybody pouring into this thing. The administration, the letterman, the fan base, the players, the families, it's been awesome. So we need that. We're going to do this thing. We're going to do it together.
A lot of good things to come. Go enjoy it.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
So hard to come into a program like this. You want to rebuild the team coming off a losing season. He's trying to get his culture in. He's trying to learn his roster. What are your final thoughts on what you saw today at the end of this spring practice for this program?
Yeah, they're going in the right direction. The biggest thing for the players on this team is they understand Brent Pry's culture. They understand their assistant's culture, so they know what to expect when they get back here for summer camp, getting ready for the fall. They're going to hit the ground running, and I think this program obviously is going in the right direction.
The alumni are certainly buying in. The fan base is buying in. Pry was a GA here. He knows what it takes. He's talking to his team now, and they'll get ready for a very big summer. Thanks to our crew here in Blacksburg, Taylor on the field, Rini here in the booth. The first year for a coach can be really exciting. Today here in Blacksburg, we had a heck of a game. We had big plays in front of a very, very big crowd. The new quarterback, the transfer from Marshall, Grant Wells, maybe a rising star for Virginia Tech. We shall see. That does it for our coverage. For Taylor and for Rini, I'm Bill saying so long from Blacksburg. Now let's go to Durham. Mike Corey and Dustin Falk.